Welcome to Wellness Wednesday for Native Wellness Institute. Nistu Nidaniko Mokoyo Sakoyi. It's my second Blackfoot name because of a dream in 2017. Before that, Nistu Nidaniko Okstukama. My parents are Monokini Pete, Leonard, Iron Pipe, New Breast, and my mother is Scriptodaki, Yellow Flower Woman, Betty Bullshoe, Nell, Cooper, New Breast. And then there's Awatski and Grandpa Sam, Grandpa Atstanikiwa, Grandma Agnes, and then Manly John Cooper. And then I can go back about 7 generations. So, woohoo! I am not a pretend Indian or a fake-ass Indian. I just who I am, and in protocol, I've said some of my grandparents, my parents, and both my parents were raised in Hart Butte, Montana. I was just thinking, Mom was, she used to do extraordinary butchering things like butcher a whole buffalo and then give the dry meat away. Dad was really good at horses. He broke a lot of horses that were untamable or no one else could break them. Among many things, Dad could make drums, he could make willow furniture, he made rattles, he made a horse drum for me. He made the first drum for the gathering of Native Americans, Gona. He made 7 of them. So the first ones that were with Wilma Mankiller, Reno Sparks Colony, Sacramento, were given a drum so that people would sing songs. And then later from Arizona, they gave me back one of his drums and it said Monokini inside. Because he used to wrap them so tight, they never lost their good tutum sound. Anyway, those are the people who fell in love, and we're arranged marriage, but they fell in love, and I'm their first child. My mother in 2019 was the Mother of the Year for Montana. The governor nominated her, and she went to Washington, D.C., and she got to speak to Congress for 3 minutes. The Scriptodaki, Yellow Flower Woman. But when she was putting together her 3-minute speech, because they only let you talk 3 minutes, woohoo! That's the best way to talk. Don't talk more than a minute. Because some people, they just be... And that's a trauma response. Talking all the time. When you're doing your healing, you start to listen. That's why I have 2 ears and 1 mouth. But when she was putting together her 3-minute speech, she counted up her adopted children, which she has 70. And now she's the oldest alive on both sides of the family. So she's the grandma, the auntie, the sister, the matriarch on both sides of the family. And it's beautiful because they invite her to birthdays, weddings, and they treat her with that good old Nitsitapi honor. They always treat her with respect. So just think of all the matriarchs in your family, all the grandmas, all the women who worked 3 jobs if they were a single mother to pay the bills, or who stayed married regardless of the challenges. Those are matriarchs too. Great matriarchs. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I've been doing the hot tub. I went up to Lethbridge, got my new nails that matched my toenails. Hey, your nails should always match your toenails. And if they look like gorilla toenails, you better go and get a pedicure. I see I see some gorilla toenails. Anyway, especially in Browntown, especially at Star School, and Standoff, there'd be some gorilla toenails. You can always tell the health of a person by their toenails. So before you go out on a date with them, and when they ask you out, say, "Can I look at your toenails?" Can I look at your teeth? Because teeth and toenails, the health of your teeth and your toenails shows you how good you've been taking care of yourself. So if they ain't got no teeth, you'll have to pray and maybe fast 8 days. 7 days at least, 6 days, whether you should go out on a date with them. But if you fast that 4 or 5 days and your heart still said chemistry, you have to ask yourself, is this trauma love? Is it trauma bond? Trauma bond is when you think you just love them. Oh, they're just so gorgeous. So you just want to go with them. You want to hop in bed with them really quick. Trauma bond is common in Indian country because you have similar traumas and you can just hook up, get together, sometimes make kids. Sometimes that's why you should wait to make some kids. Not just don't hop in bed. Don't hop in bed and just make kids. Pray about it. Fast about it. Talk to your aunties. I just want to say, if you listen to your aunties, you don't need no apps. You don't need no apps telling you what to eat and count your steps. That's all bull. You just need a badass auntie. Talk to your badass auntie. I'm one of thousands of Nasitapi badass aunties. I'm one of millions of badass aunties in Indian country. I'm one of trillion aunties of color, of indigenous. So just talk to us and you don't need all those apps. We'll tell you how to take care of your money. We'll tell you how to take care of your home. We'll tell you how to take care of your health. We'll tell you how to make amends. So today's topic, I was praying this morning. I always sing a calling song. And my morning took me about 2 hours of journaling. And as I was journaling, I said, "Jeez, Creator, thank you. Estibattipi, thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for what you've given me. And thank you for my health. Thank you for that I can see, that I can hear, that I can talk, that I can breathe, that I can still fit my clothes." Hey, they said, Cecilia used to tell this joke. She said, a good Indian woman, her bra size is size 52 cup A. And then, like I said, Harold Belmont said, a good Indian woman has buffalo hips and antelope legs. Hey, but it's okay if you have buffalo hips. Just be in good health. Just be able to run up the stairs without... Just be able to run after your grandchildren with, I gotta sit down. Just be able to walk around the block and listen to the birds, walk around the lake, look at the loons, look at the eagles, look at the ducks, look at the, I always see these hawks, red-tailed hawks. Just if you can walk around and notice how the tree grows and notice how the green is and even if this is mud and ice, look down where you're walking. You won't be in ER. The biggest ER visits in the Browning Indian Health Service Hospital this time of year is fall on ice and all kinds of stuff happens to the ankles and the neck and whatever. So just, listen to so the topic is around forgiveness. Forgiveness and letting go. And those processes, if you're from Canada, and those processes, if you live in America, and that process, it's a sign of maturity when you can forgive the unforgivable and when you can forgive and let go. That was my journal thing this morning. Is I said to myself, okay, midnight, people will be celebrating. My celebration is I'll be snoozing because I got to get up at 3 a.m. and catch a flight to Palm Springs. But by tonight, or by 11:50 p.m., by 10:50 p.m., make a mental note. Journal if you can, or say it to your sponsor, say it to your sibling, say it to your spouse, say it to whoever is your ally to your mind, body, and spirit. Say the list of what you need to forgive and let go. And and some of us we have little forgiveness, we have self-forgiveness, but some of us have big forgiveness. And that big forgiveness usually has to do with people, places, and things. So, woohoo! Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday grew out of the COVID and the pandemic, where we had the Power Hour 7 days a week, 5 days a week, and now we have Wellness Wednesday. And Native Wellness Institute, we've been in existence since the 80s. We're going into our 26th year as a 501c3. We are totally funded by Indigenous, people of color, allies who want to be a better ally working in Indian country. And we're now there's 575 tribes. Woohoo! Lumbee! Woohoo! 575 federally recognized tribes in the United States. And there'll be more, because more are petitioning. And even though they tried to take away their sovereignty, they tried to take away their identity. They took our land. They took some of your land. Don't let them take your identity. So now we're celebrating the Lumbee. And there's hundreds of thousands of them in the East. And that's really a victory, because the East is where the outsiders came first. The colonizers came first. And now they're recognized. And then you can see how they went across the United States, because then they started naming everyone Smith, Brown, Jones, their names. But you could see the ones that they had tough time with. They couldn't wipe them out. So you go to the Dakotas. My mom said in Flandreau, there was a person and their last name was Drags Her Guts Under the Fence. Get some butchers, drags her guts under the fence, takes it to the water, and washes all that poop out of the guts. That's a badass name. Drags her guts under the fence. But if you come and you hear running crane, you hear mistaken chief, you hear fire thunder, you hear comes at night, you hear black plume, eh? You hear red gun, you hear bull shoe. You start hearing all that was the ones that had a tough time. They just couldn't colonize us. They just couldn't wipe us out. So, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. And so forgiveness can be big. I was thinking about that today. Do I forgive Hudson Bay? Do I forgive the trailblazers, Columbus, Lewis and Clark? Do I forgive the outlaws that came from Texas, escaping and marrying Indian women in the territories? so that they could get their land? Do I forgive the big forgiveness? For this moment, Istapatapi, Nagaykamokin, Nagaspomokin. Help me be better at forgiving colonizers. Help me be better at forgiving murderers. Help me be better at forgiving rapists. In the moment, this moment, I forgive you, and I hope your descendants that you made have a long, healthy life. That's why a good prayer is to wish someone to have a long, healthy life. So that forgiveness. You know, I was looking at as I was journaling, when I was younger, or when we were younger, remember when someone we had it out for them? And would talk about it, and would go over there and would physically fight, emotionally fight, and knock the shit out of them. Sheesh, I remember that first, second grade knocking the shit out of a whole bunch of kids because I was the only one that was native, and they were making fun of me. So I just knocked the shit out of them. I got beat up too. Then I thought, this is not a good strategy to be knocking the shit out of people. This is so as you mature, this forgiveness, you know, children are born with it. You see children play. I was at the Christmas powwow in Browning, and I was just watching children play, and they had gifts, and they were giving gifts, and they were dancing, and they might get mad at each other. Instantly forgive. Children we're born with instant forgiveness. And then next minute they're just pals again, and they're just playing together, and they're just, you know, having a good time. But when we get into our teenagers, man, that's a tough one. And that's emotional because that's hormonal, and that's a strive for independence, and you don't want to be bossed around. Hormones and someone trying to boss you around, they don't mix. So that's where you don't want to forgive. You hate your parents. You use a strong word like hate. And you hate your parents. You hate your teachers. You hate anyone who has something better than you. You hate someone who has really nice, runners or tennis shoes. You hate someone who has expensive stuff on when you're poor and you can't afford those kind of things. All of that forgiveness. And so then, we get into our 20s and some of us, my parents fell in love when they were 14 together and got married at 16 and had me when they were 17. But that was in the 50s. In the 1930s, the 1940s, even the 1900s, it was a different time. Norms, or what was normal, was different. So this forgiveness, so sometimes remember what happened to your ancestors. Remember what happened to your tribe, and forgive those that are so messed up and traumatized. They're traumatized. Forgive them. But don't, move them into your house and start paying their bills. That's called codependency. That's called enabling. You got to raise them in that forgiveness, even in parenting. Forgive if you are a parent to kids you produced, or all of the grandchildren, all of the nieces and nephews. You were practicing when you were young. If you were raising kids, I remember because the parents would go out and drink. So I had a babysitting, I guess it was my business, like 9 years old, because I knew how to take care of babies. So I was teaching others how to take care of babies, how to change a diaper, how to walk with a baby that has colic, how to, take care of a diaper rash, all of those kinds of things. And I think we used to only charge like $1 an hour. But sometimes those parents that come home for 2 days, so we're taking care of those kids for 2 days, all of us. But what we became is parents at a young age. So that's why, woohoo! I just always say, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. You know, when I was splashing in the hot tub last night, just soaking my feet, and when I went and got a pedicure, and when I actually got, they hennaed my eyebrows. I don't like anything fake, like fake eyelashes that birds could land on. So when I see people that are all fake, you know, Botox or whatever, hi, I have Botox. So I tried something new. So I went to Lethbridge to Curves, and they do a really good job, and they thread rather than pluck, and then they hennaed my eyebrows. So what do you think? Anyway, it was just kind of, I wanted to, I'm going on the red carpet for Meadowlarks on January 2nd. I'm flying really early tomorrow so I can get orientated to Palm Springs. I am acclimated to 0 or Fahrenheit, maybe 10 above 0. I'm acclimated. It's just like I'm going to try to go out with this light jacket, because you don't need a jacket where I'm going. You don't need mucks. You can wear Crocs and flip flops, and you could just go barefooted if you wanted. And so I was thinking, wow, I'll leave the mucks in War Pony. Eh? War Pony's got a travoy in the back. I got all kinds of stuff in the back, and it's legal. Nothing illegal, but there's a lot of stuff in the back of War Pony in that back seat. There's winter clothes. There's instant ice spray to, get rid of the ice on your windshield. There's scrapers. There's shovels. I was just looking at the back of, my ancestors would be proud of me about what's in my War Pony in that back seat. Food. I got a bag of dry meat. I'm taking a bag of dry meat. And I was saying, how much does this weigh? Because I don't want my suitcase to weigh over 50 pounds. Anyway, I'm bringing that bag of dry meat. That's just as important as anything else, because when you eat traditional food, you listen better, and you're grounded, and you can forgive when you eat traditional food. If you just eat drive-through McDonald's all the time, you can't forgive because you're too puffy, too obese, and you can't think. So go through the drive-through once in a while, not every day. Don't eat pizza every day. I'm sorry, this is Badass Anstey. Don't eat pizza every day. Don't eat just microwave food. Try a little raw fruit, raw vegetables. Try a lot of elk fat. Try buffalo. Try beans. Ooh, beans are good. Lechin. Ooh, good. Just try some traditional food. Try the camas root. Oh my God, I love my Lavina Louie and her family. They always give me dried camas. And I've dreamt about camas like about 8 times. So, but I have not. I dream about plants, Grandma. We dream about plants, and plants talk to you. And plants have never been colonized, remember? That plants were never colonized. They colonized the people. The greatest weapon of the oppressor is the oppressed mind. But they didn't colonize our plants. And so just think about, as forgive your old behavior in 2025. And for the new, it could be gradual. Just try eating sourdough bread for a month, and I swear your A1C will go down. I swear you can have diabetes under control if you just eat sourdough bread. And you can splurge and have a piece of fried bread, but not every day. Whew. Anyway, forgiving the unforgivable. I started as a crisis social worker in 1976, 1977 in Oakland, California at the Intertribal Friendship House. And that's where I first learned that it was wrong for a man to be beating up a woman. I had two MSWs who were my preceptors, and I was the crisis social worker. So my first day on the job, I remember Felix Spencer, and who was the TOSI. They were the chairman of the board and executive director of Intertribal Friendship House. My first day on the job. And I had to stay there. I couldn't even go out for lunch. And I look out the door, and I found out later, they had been at each other, the chairman of the board, the executive director, and fighting however they fight with memos. They used to fight with memos back there. Now it's email. They decided to have a fight in front of my door. And Felix Spencer had long braids. And that Tosi guy would just pull his braid and punch him in the face. Anyway, and I remember Jerry Lira and Marilyn St. Germain. They were my MSW. They were training me how to be a crisis social worker. But I came from the streets. Badass auntie, I came from the streets. And they were just busting it out. Just there was no forgiveness there. They were just having a fight. And at that time, I was strong enough, and I came from the streets. I had to break up the fight. And I was stronger than those two men. Yeah, I was pretty badass in 1977. I would run 5 miles every day, all that kind of stuff. And I remember holding them apart. And then help came. And so that's a marker in time. So in the 80s, the 90s, 2000, now 2026 is coming up. The biggest the unforgivable that I still see with my work and in talking circles, and I see it break up gaming commissioners, tribal councils, is betrayal. Betrayal. So think about when I say that word, who has betrayed you? Who has betrayed you? Which you trusted them. They may have said, I promise. They may have said, I do. They may have said, till death do we part. They may have said all of that, and then they betrayed you. Mofos. I should have a site where Badass Auntie slaps people. No. Don't be betraying Native women. Don't be betraying your partner if you've made a commitment. Don't be doing that. Little glitch, you never know. We're in a time right now. It's December 31st, and there's even those glitches. Forgive the glitches. Think about those. But that betrayal, I just want to talk about for a minute. If someone has betrayed you, they're dead. Just go and pee on their grave. Eh? Step on their grave. Put their name on the bottom of your shoe and go stomp around. Anyway, you have to forgive and let go. And a good way, and one of my sponsors, because I'm in sobriety and I'm doing my best at recovery, is one of my sponsors always told me, if someone irks the crap out of you, if they really hurt you, or they say horrible words, or they decline you from a job, or they beat you up with purchase orders, something, if they do things like that, pray for them for 15 days. When you get up, pray that things go good for them. Pray that they have a good life. a long, healthy life. Pray for their descendants. Pray for that they have a good home. Pray for that they have good food. Pray that they have a lot of happiness in their heart for 15 days. And I promise you, at the end of those 15 days, you will have forgiveness for that person. Now, again, we get triggered. Sometimes we get triggered, when someone brings up, our ex's name or our ex's, even, having children together. So that betrayal, think if that comes up for you, make 2026 where you start to let it be. Ask Creator to lift it from your shoulders. Ask Ishtabatapi to lift it from your heart. That resentment of betrayal. Oh gosh. I'm just I just say that to you. Let 2026 be the forgiving the unforgivable. And then, places and things. I see families, the other big issue is when families fight over property. Who gets what when someone dies? Who gets the cows? Who gets the house? Who gets the diamonds? Indians don't have no diamonds. Who gets the beadwork, eh? Who gets the lodge, the TPA? Who gets the bundle? Oh, I won't go there. Yeah, forgiveness with that too. But think about that. Forgive your siblings. Forgive the person who said, yes, I'm going to give you this, and they die, and all of the relatives you never seen came and got it. Just forgive it. Just start with a clean heart. And that's, kind of shifting gears. Start with a clean heart. What's going to bring you a clean heart? Sleep good. Eat good. Do self-care. And that, the other forgiveness is around to self. Forgive your younger self because you were just practicing. Forgive your younger self because you didn't know no better. Forgive your younger self because you had no ears, eh? They say, that one has no ears. I love that one. Got no ears, eh? But forgive your younger self and start today, no matter what your age is. 21, 41, 51, 61, 71. Oh, happy birthday, Jeline Joseph. She just turned 60 yesterday. Woohoo! Woohoo! Happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is today. Yee! And if you decide to drink, go to a different Facebook page. We don't need you. Eh? But if you're still bullshitting and sneaking a drink, oh, for the grace of God, there go I. That forgiveness to self, the best thing that you can do is be better to self and to remain clean and sober, to become clean and sober. Because clarity, the oppressors, that's what they want. It was an easy formula. They just came, they take away your land, they take away how you pray, they take your children, they take your ceremonies, they take your language, a few other things, arts, and then they just add a Xanax, a Valium, a fentanyl, a Budweiser, a Coors. I have never seen a Coors help a family. I have never seen a Budweiser blossom a family. I have never seen that. It gives you courage for the moment to ride the bull in 8.5 seconds. Eh? Maybe 9 seconds. Plus, too, they don't care about when you make love to them. They just care about themselves. They don't even care about you. They only last 10 seconds. Eh? They weren't taught how to make love. They weren't taught how to have foreplay. Anyway, forgiving our younger self. That self-forgiveness is just so important. And so just, we're kind of, I have to take War Pony in to get the winterize oil change in a few minutes here and leave it in the shop. And so I just wanted to come to you today. So let's talk a little bit about that letting go. I made like a spirit plate. When you make a spirit plate, a little bit of your food, and even from our winter gathering, our Christmas powwow, they gave us so much food. My mom, we couldn't eat it all, and some of it had been left out, so we took it, and Mom gently put all of that food in a cardboard, and there was meat, there was a little bit of bannock, there was good food, and so she said, now smudge it and put it out for the ancestors, because ceremonial food you never throw in the trash. You need to eat it or you need to put it out. So she arranged it, even the sauces and all that, she put it in there, and it was icy. And I go, well, Mom, what's on my agenda today. This is last Sunday. I said, I'll take it out, and you smudged it, and I'm going to give it to the spirits. So I took it up to where Benny LeBeau, he had put all 18 or 19 crystals, and one crystal he put back into that below red blanket, going in there with the ceremony. And my mom was there, and there was a bunch of spirits, so I knew. So I was going to go there, but there was too much snow. The snow More Pony might not be able to get back out. And the ice, like when you turn the corner, was kind of like, So then I saw that, I'm glad my nephews had plowed 89 and they had sanded it. So I went up to Red Blanket. And when I went up to Red Blanket, I always just let the quiet, but the wind was blowing so hard. They were saying 55 mile per hour gusts. But I took the food and I invited everyone to come eat, but I named a lot of my ancestors. A white quiver, a toucan beaver, Uncle Buster, Uncle Vernon, Uncle William, Aunt Carol, Aunt Rita. I just started naming Aunt Melinda. I just was naming all of my aunts and uncles that were my mothers and my fathers. And then I named this year the people we lost, and the Confederacy. I just named them, and I invited them to come and eat. And when I put out that offering, I decided to go on 89 because I'm getting older and I can't be taking risks like I did my younger self. So I drove on 89. I drove slow, like about 40 miles per hour. We don't use kilometers. And when I came back later that evening, my mom said her hip had been hurting her. And it's hard when your older people hurt. It's hard when you're older people and you can't fix it or you can't take it away. And when she said to me, she said, Nellie, that's what she calls me. That's my middle name. It's her middle name. And her dad's mom was named now. She said, my hip just stopped hurting. Because I was praying that my mom have a pain-free, happy life while she's in her physical body before she crosses over Mokoyo Sukoi, the Milky Way, to the Big Sandy. And she said, yeah, my hip just doesn't hurt anymore. And I said, okay, Mom, it's okay if I light another smudge. So we lit a smudge. And she said, and I'm kind of getting hungry, So anyway, we just had really good time together. mother and daughter. And that forgiveness, if you don't forget to ask your ancestors when you make your spirit plate or any of your prayers to help you, no gaikimokit, no gaspomokit, pity me, help me to forgive. Forgive the things I need to not carry anymore that burden me. Forgive the people, places, and things. Forgive anyone who has hurt you, because hurt people hurt people. Healing people heal people. Forgive, your coworker. Forgive your leaders that embezzled money. Forgive them. That's a sign of trauma. Embezzlement is a sign of trauma. Forgive, again, I'm going to go back to, I'm not going to think about it at this moment about forgiving the colonizers. I'm just going to concentrate, begin with yourself, begin with your family, begin with your animals, begin with your horses, begin with your land. Treat your land good. Forgiveness comes when you cherish the land, when you take care of the land. Just begin there. It's just like, when always your water, always take a drip and give your ancestors a drink. Forgiveness comes with water. I took a hot bath, and then when I was in the hot bath, I said, help me tell some stories to all of our Wellness Wednesday people so that they could think forgiveness by midnight tonight or today. You may have thought of it. Think about what you thought about some of these stories, so that tomorrow when you wake up, it's a woohoo, a fresh new beginning. Woohoo! Like tomorrow's going to be renewal. Tomorrow's going to be sparkly. Tomorrow's going to start the new year, and start it in a good way where you forgive easily. Start it in a good way where you set some personal goals and some goals for your family. Start it in a new way where you shake someone's hand and you have forgiveness. That you give someone a good hug. You just hug them up. Ooh, just hug everybody. Hug therapy. Hug yourself. Ooh, ooh, hug yourself. Just start the new year, because you have choice. You have choice in your mind, body, and spirit to start the new year and how it needs to come about. You start fresh. So change your sheets. If you're staying in a hotel, let them change the sheets. Hey, and put on your best pajamas, something comfortable. Light a candle. Put some sweetgrass around. Always put some tobacco around your house. Do these kinds of things and start fresh. Start new. Start the new year with that forgiving heart. And don't hold on to things. Make some boundaries. It's okay to say no. Just like even if you don't feel like going out tonight, don't. Do something with your family. Cook a good meal. Order in. Uber Eats. Hey. I love when my nieces, they just always order me Uber Eats. I like to cook when I'm home, but I got my bag of dry meat. Long as you got a bag of dry meat, the whole world is a good place to be. Go make some dry meat. Yeah, Steve Barrios. I just love Steven. He was in Egypt, and he said I want to meet him in person, but we've been talking on the phone, all of the beautiful things that happen in Egypt. And so I'm gonna start to wind down here. this is my last little task to take War Pony to Lithia and get all, War Pony just be racking those miles, and I ride that War Pony hard. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to ask, I'm trying to get better at asking. I'm going to ask for prayers because I'm going to represent a healing around the 60 scoop. A true story with Betty Ann and her siblings that were taken as children and toddlers and raised in non-native homes, and how they come back together in their 50s. And I was honored to play the elder with Russell Badger in this movie that's coming to America for the first time, screening January 3rd at the Palm Springs International Festival. Tasha's going to be there. I love you, Tasha Hubbard. Thank you for being the director. I love you, Tasha Hubbard. Thank you for bringing the crew together. Thank you for bringing us. Thank you, Michael Gray Eyes. Thank you, Michelle Thrush. Thank you, Alex Rice. Thank you, everybody that contributed to this movie, because it's a healing movie. And that's why I'm going. I'm going because I want the light to shine on the healing of the 60 scoop. I want the light to shine on any children who need to rise up above and heal, and to have it's never too late to have that happy childhood. And so please say a prayer for me. Sometimes I travel well. I'm doing every proactive thing I can to travel well. And I think my suitcase is 49 pounds. Anyway, because I got to go to Hopland. I'm doing a healthy relationship job after that for NWI. Remember, we have a free, the New Year, New You, January 5th. You can get go to www.nativewellness.com. It's free. Everyone, our team will be getting together, talking about the new you and the new year. And very quickly, we're going to Hawaii. Please come with us March 10, 11, and 12. Wellness in the workplace on Oahu. Ooh, by the beach. Woohoo, wiggle our toes. Anyway, we'll be here, every Wednesday. We just try to come with positive, productive, proactive, and uplifting stories. And it's been an honor this entire 2025 to live through the things that we have lived through, and to celebrate that we're still here. We're still alive. We're still clean and sober. We're still in wellbriety. So celebrate that. And I say, Kitaki to Matsuno. See you later.